G'day, g'day. Exciting day. I love days like today. Beautiful, sun shining. How awesome is this? It's not humid, but it is hot. Water temperature's good though. Now, today, why I'm so excited is I'm about to start grading the fish inside. So, I'm not sure where you're up to with my videos, but I got some fish 12 months ago. I was fish sitting for someone, and they're still not ready for fish, but they're starting to get bigger. So I got them when they were 2 centimeters, and now a lot of them are about that big. So, you know, in comparison, it's time to start putting them out there. Now, what I have been doing is I have been popping the bigger fish into the aquaponics system 10 at a time. And today I've made the decision I'm actually going to go and clear out all of the bigger fish, and the ones that I'm going to go with, if they're roughly 10 centimeters, then they go into the aquaponics system. If they're smaller than that, they're staying in there. Now, all of these fish, I actually got them at the same size, the same age, at the same time. And they've grown at different sizes, at different stages, and just like us humans, fish will do the same thing. Now, in an aquaponics system, you've got to make sure that you're keeping in mind the size of the fish that you're getting. Okay, so if you're getting the big fish, so you know, the 500 gram fish, which is normally plate size, then there's only a certain number that you can keep in your aquaponics system before it gets overstocked and you start having water quality issues, and it's also not good for the fish. Okay, so I'm very big on best practice and looking after your fish. So I want you to make sure that you don't have too many fish in there if they're too big. Now, when they're small, you know, if they're only little tackers like this, 100 in there is not going to do anything. Okay, it's not going to run your aquaponics system. But when they're getting bigger, they will. So mine at the moment are ranging between, you know, that big versus, that big. That looks a bit weird, but hey, we'll go with that. 2 different sizes. So at the moment, I'm getting lots and lots of nutrients coming in. So, but when they're plate size, 500 grams, I can't have that many fish in my aquaponics system. But I have a secondary plan in place for that. Now, if I'm sorry about the lawnmower, I can't help the fact that they're doing that around here. If I was getting these fish from a supplier, from a friend, from someone else, I'd put these fish straight into a salt bath before I put them anywhere near my aquaponics system, because I don't know what the water quality is like at that place. I don't know if there's diseases, and I don't know if the water in transport will get into high ammonia. I don't want any of that near my aquaponics system. So I'd be giving them a quarantine. I'd be quarantining them for the day in a salt bath. And I just use a bathtub for that. Seriously, why set up a big system when you can do it cheaply and easily? Different video for that though. These fish, on the other hand, because they're coming from inside, they're coming from my place, I know my water quality, I know what I've been doing, I know how they are, and it's a glass aquarium, so I've been keeping an eye on their health. And yes, I've also been giving them a salt bath every month anyway. That's something that I do. So this is a little bit different, and there will be other videos on what to do when you're going from one place to another place. But in your own setup, in your own system, as long as you know your water quality and what's happening, you're sweet. Now, one of the things that I've done today to make sure everything's okay, I have my freshwater master test kit, and I've checked my aquaponics system. My ammonia, which is that one here, is all good, no ammonia. That's really important. I've then checked the nitrite. That's also really good. I didn't feed the fish for the last 2 days, and because of that, the nitrate is really, really low, if non-existent. And if I had have fed them, then I'd be having nitrate in the system. But I didn't want to mess with the water quality in any way, knowing I was adding some more. Now, what I have done, I did check the iron, but iron's fine. What I have done, and this is what's really, really important when you're moving fish, you need to make sure that you've got no ammonia, no nitrite, and only a small amount of nitrate. But you need to make sure that your pH is consistent. Okay, so here's what I've done for that. One, I've checked the pH of my aquaponics system, and it's down at 7.6. Well, it's up at 7.6. It is high. but it's at that level that I know what it is. I've also checked the pH of the water where the fish are coming from, and it is also at the same pH range. And comparing the two together, they are the same colour. Perfect. That means we're not going to have any type of pH toxic shock for the fish. So, what am I doing now? That is a very good question. I'm going to be moving them out very slowly. The temperature is pretty much the same. That's the other thing to keep in mind. You never just put fish straight into a tank. You do need to make sure you keep an eye on your temperature changes, so climatizing them. Before I go though, and I know I'm going to talk about quarantining another time, I just want to say though, I never put any fish from any aquarium, any cellar, anywhere that's not in my own home, straight into my aquaponics system or straight into one of my aquariums. I always quarantine it, and I always make sure that water gets tipped into my quarantine system, which is just a bathtub and some air stones, and if I need to, I add bacteria with the some bioballs if that's needed, because I'm needing it for a couple of days. That water gets tipped into that quarantine system, and I've topped up that water with the water from the aquaponics system or from the aquarium. So that means that it's predominantly the aquarium or the new water, as well as that water in the bag, okay? It's not going anywhere near my aquaponics system or my aquariums. And the reason I want that to happen is the different pathogens from your wholesaler or your fish shop or wherever you're getting it from could be in that water. And I don't want to introduce that to my system. And so if I put in the fish and that water into a salt bath, and then I net them out of there, I can then comfortably do that knowing that they're going to be okay, because I've acclimatized them to that water. Okay, so that's how I make sure that I keep diseases out of my aquaponic system. There are other ways diseases can get in there, just like there are other ways I can get sick. But that's which we try to minimize that as much as possible. So I'm noticing that this video is getting long, and I'm just wanting to keep talking because I'm really so excited. So I'm going to end here, and I'm going to go and start grading my fish and moving them out here. That's what I'm on to today. Okay, so it's going to get super exciting.